Right, everybody ready to go? All right, Coach.
Okay, first of all, just very proud of our team. Our first SEC home game against a good Mississippi State club. Our defense, played great again. I believe we had 2 interceptions. I think we had 4 fourth down stops. They answered the bell time and time again. Offensively, thought we played well offensively. We hit some shots, and the last 2 games when we hit shots, we scored points, and I thought that was a big factor. Our quarterback was very efficient. Again, I thought that was really something. Just overall, we got off to a good start, and we got off to a good start. Our crowd was unbelievable. I think we had 7 false starts, and I've said this before. I think this is the best home field advantage there is in college football because of our fans, and they were loud. It was extremely loud. They were a big part of our success tonight. But I'm proud of our team. It's a good step in the right direction. Questions?
Statistically, that was one of the best efficiency performances by a quarterback since Cam. For him to complete 48 shots against the number 9 pass defense in the country, what does it say about Jarrett's development already?
Well, I think you see him every week getting more and more comfortable. We're protecting him, well, and the guys are making plays. Our receivers are growing up, and they're making plays down the field. And I think that is just kind of all starting to come together. And then, starting to get more comfortable with Chip, and Chip's getting more comfortable with him. And 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row, just been very efficient. But against that group, that was very impressive.
Can you speak to the play from the 1-yard line, that 57-yard pass, just what went into the
Yeah, that's about the 1 foot line. It was really close right there, and that's just what Chip decided to do. That was part of his game plan, that get the ball on the left hash on the 1-yard line. That's the play he's going to call, and they executed it. And that was a big factor in the game too. I think there was a 99-yard drive, and right there is the first, I believe it was the first drive the offense got the ball in the 3rd quarter. And after that drive that they scored a touchdown on, everything was a little bit easier. Take a deep breath right there. But that was a big time throw, big time catch, good protection, and a big time call.
Gus, can you talk about first down success offensively and then defensively containing Nick Fitzgerald?
Nick Fitzgerald he's like a running back there. He scares you to death. And he throws the ball well too, and you've got to stop him first in the run game, because if he starts getting going, the play action's scary. And I thought our defense did a very good job containing him, keeping him from those big runs that he scared you to death with. And we were physical up front, and I think we were physical in front on both sides.
And then first downs offensively.
Yeah, first downs. Yeah, and y'all have seen this before. When we get that initial first down, we get in rhythm, and that's usually when we're at our best.
Can you talk about the secondary and their play today, holding them to 13-33?
Our secondary was unbelievable. They were all over them, and our secondary's played well all season. Very good, clamping people down in man coverage, making them earn it. And they got some receivers that are pretty good too. So I thought our secondary had a very good night.
Coach, you've talked about Will Hastings before, had another stellar performance tonight. What does that do for you as a coach in the offense to know you have another guy you can lean on to help get more touchdowns?
Yeah, Will is a guy that, showed flashes last year, and then, of course, in the spring, he really took the next step forward. And, he's a dynamic route runner. When he gets space on people, he's really tough to handle, and he scored on the double move and did a super job, on that play.
Gus, it doesn't seem like a lot of people have figured out how to block Jeff Holland yet this year. Another pretty spectacular performance out of him. Do you keep getting better every week?
He's really raised his level. He's taken his game to the next level. He did that in the spring, and it's carried over here in games, and he's a weapon. I think he caused a couple of those false starts too, along with the noise just when he widened out, and he's such a good edge speed rusher, and he's playing the run well too. He's just really raising his game.
Gus, I just want to throw a stat out at you. You're the only team in the FBS that hasn't allowed more than 14 points all season. Would your wildest dreams have expected that 5 games into the season?
We had a good defense last year, and we had a lot of guys coming back, and you could tell in the spring it was different. They have a different attitude. They know Coach Steele's defense inside and out. They're playing extremely hard. They're playing with that edge. But no, I wasn't aware of that. That's a great stat, and hopefully we can keep building on that.
Obviously, a new wrinkle with the Wildcat there, putting it to Jarrett for that deep pass to Darius.
Yeah.
What went into that?
You know, it's a play that we've had up, you know, since fall camp, and I think we were 100% run out of the Wildcat, and so Chip was, you know, wanting to wait till a 3rd and short to try to get a zero look, you know, where they were playing the run, and thought we had a chance, and you know, he's repped that probably 20 or 30 times, and then it was wide open. That was a big play in the game.
Gus, did you think it was important to have back-to-back good offensive games, not only for the players, but for Chip, you know?
You know, I think so. I mean, you know, you can see, you know, the progression. You know, you can see Jarrett getting more comfortable. You can see, you know, the balance. I think we were pretty balanced tonight. You know, as far as 244 rushing yards and 267. The balance, we talked about that, and that's what Chip brings us. And, you know, we hit some vertical shots.
Guys, can you talk about this change in the offensive line tackles?
Yeah, we just felt like put some more experience up there. And, you know, Tega played some tight end. You know, Tega's going to be an outstanding player, but we just felt like we put a little bit more experience up there. And so that was kind of the thinking, but we got a lot of confidence in Tega.
For Carrion to lead the running game
Yeah.
again, it's his first time in his career he's had back-to-back multi-touchdown games. How do you feel about his performance, and also that way, did you want to try to get him more?
Well, you know, first of all, Carrion, I mean, you know, he's playing with a band on his leg. And you could see him when he broke that one, you know, he wasn't going to pull it again. And the fact that he's not 100% says a lot about him. And, you know, he was pretty hot, and we put Petway in there, and, you know, he's not quite 100% either, you know, as far as that goes. But I was proud of KJ and the job he did, you know, especially in the goal line. There was a couple tough runs that he found a way and willed himself, you know, to get in the end zone.
And you guys realize that obviously with them not 100%, they're slowing down a little bit. Is that why you made those adjustments? Like at halftime, you guys were running the ball outside. Was that kind of a plan if they wore down to do some different things?
You talk about?
Yeah, Eli Stove.
Oh, yeah, to get the ball on the perimeter. Yeah, you know, they were stuffing everything pretty good, and just talked at halftime about getting the ball on the perimeter. Eli had the big one right there that really opened things up. The thing about the perimeter runs, you know, if you get one big one, it usually kind of loosens things up, and that was just kind of the talk at halftime, that try to get the ball on the edge a little bit. And there was some real good blocks at the point of attack, and Eli almost took it to the house.
I think that's 2 weeks in a row now that Daniel Thomas has come up with a stop on a fake punt. Just what is it about him that's...
Yeah, you know, that's a pretty interesting deal. It's the same really fake punt that we stopped last week. And, you know, Coach Horton did a super job. That exact fake, he probably repped it 3 or 4 times, and the way it fit and all that. And so that was a big play in the game. I don't think we were able to score points. You know, that was, I think that's where we missed the field goal right there. But that was a big stop, and, you know, Coach Horton did a super job of kind of predicting, you know, what they would be thinking. Sure enough, they did.
Well,
Gus, you started a little slow last year and then got on a roll, and it felt like you were really hot until the injuries. Do you see any similarities just how this is going so far?
You know, 2 weeks in a row, we played really good football, you know, really in all 3 phases. You know, I'd like to think we're getting some momentum, and we still made some mistakes. We can get better on 3rd downs and things like that, but, you know, if we keep it improving just a little bit each week, we got a chance to be a good football team.
What went into the decision to go with Baden Marshall, and how do you feel that?
You know, he has been practicing very well, and the last 2 weeks he probably won the competition, you know, at practice, and so we just felt strong to give him an opportunity. I thought he played well. I thought he had some good kicks. The moment wasn't too big. A lot of times, you know, you worry about that, but he did a good job, and you know, I was impressed.
A few more?
Trey Williams hasn't been able to play.
Yeah, you know, Trey, a little banged up. Obviously, we kept him out last week. He could have played tonight, an emergency situation. Obviously, it was fortunate that we were able to rest him another week, you know, as far as that goes. And Cam Martin was a little bit banged up too, you know, from the last game, so we're able to hold him out. You know, Malik Miller, I thought, ran really hard, you know, when he was in the 4th quarter, so, you know.
How important was it to have Javaris Davis back for dime personnel in particular, where he has that pick 6, but Gus, you held Fitzgerald 2 for 13 on 3rd down with both his picks. So just how important was Javaris to that?
Yeah, I mean, Javaris is he's an impact player for us. You know, we held him out last week. he played extremely well. Obviously, he had the impact play on the pick six, and you know, he's one of our top defensive backs, and when he's on the field, you know, it really helps.
All
Gus,
right, last one.
moving forward, do you see Malik Willis, he had a 67-yard touchdown run, do you see Malik Willis being that fill-in for a backup quarterback to move forward offense?
You know, I mean, Malik's one play away from playing. You know, so he's got to prepare like he's a starter. And, you know, that play he made, I mean, that kind of looked like Nick Marshall-ish, you know, as far as, you know, he just kept it and nobody knew he had the ball until he breaks free. He's got a unique ability. You know, Chip has a plan for him, you know, and we'll just see where that goes. He's one play away from being our starting quarterback, so.
All right, Coach, thank you.